casuale. Here you go.
Yeah.
Cuando tú quieras, cuando tú quieras, cuando tú quieras, oh, cuando tú quieras.
Okay.
Take it away.
Hey, my name is Gabby. There's no John right now, but today I want to talk to you about the first trimester. I am currently in my third trimester, so I do have some notes from my first trimester so that I can remember to tell you guys everything. But first trimester was just a roller coaster of emotions. It was like at 6 weeks, I found out I was pregnant, and then it was like, am I going to lose the baby? And then it was holding my breath until 12 weeks when it's like safe. But it was just so much stuff in between. So I wanted to kind of give you guys a quick recap of some of the things that I experienced during the first trimester. Everybody's first trimester, everybody's pregnancy is different, but these are some of the things that I went through. Like I said, I found out I was pregnant at 6 weeks, which is actually pretty early. And by 8 weeks, we were getting our first ultrasound, which was our dating ultrasound, and that's when we found out our due date. That's when I found out that I was going to be due October 28th, and it's also when we got to hear the heartbeat for the first time, which was a really cool thing. But I heard so many people say, oh, as soon as you hear the heartbeat, you're totally in love. It was a cool experience, but it wasn't like that instant connection. I thought it would be, but it wasn't, not for me anyway. Apparently that's pretty normal too though. So like you might hear the heartbeat and be like, oh my God, that's my baby's heart. Or you might be like us and just be like, oh, that's awesome, that's neat, but still be kind of like in a daze. We also started some of the real pregnancy symptoms. So I would say probably around 8 or 9 weeks is when the symptoms really started to kick in. For me, those symptoms included nausea and food aversions from the gate, like out the gate. I immediately started throwing up. I couldn't drink water. I wanted to drink water so much I couldn't. I've mentioned before I was diagnosed with HG, but this is when it started. I thought it was normal because everything I read online said that it was very normal for you to have nausea in the first trimester. So I didn't think anything of it. I just didn't know that for most people it wasn't as bad as it was for me. I was also very, very sleepy the first trimester. So I'd come home from work and just be like dead, just ready to go to bed. I would be laying down on the couch with John and fall asleep. I could be in my car and fall asleep. Like I could fall asleep anywhere you put me, honestly. And that lasted most of the first trimester and a little bit into the second trimester, actually. Certain smells got on my nerves, and foods were really, the aversion to food started. But one of the things that I thought was interesting was that I had to pee a lot in the first trimester. I thought that was something that didn't happen until the end when you like have all the pressure from the baby and stuff. But no, it turns out your hormones changing can actually make you have to go to the bathroom a lot. So I actually had to pee a lot during the first trimester, which was news to me. Now, I didn't really have any of like the sore breasts or I didn't have any, major changes like oily skin, but I did get dry skin during the first trimester. But those were my major things: the nausea, the food aversions, and the sleepiness for me. I also experienced some spotting and I passed a few blood clots actually. And that for me was very scary because I thought I was going to lose the baby. And you got to understand, almost 8 years of like wanting to get pregnant, and I finally get pregnant, and then I see blood, and that's scary. It was never a lot of blood, but it was enough blood that it was concerning. So I would have to go into my doctor for extra appointments, extra ultrasounds, and eventually I did start passing blood clots, which definitely was alerting. And what we realized was that my progesterone level was very low. Now, I knew that I had progesterone levels that were low before I got pregnant. So thankfully, I had a prescription all ready to go, and I started having to take progesterone. But when you're pregnant, you don't drink or you don't take it orally. You actually have to take progesterone vaginally, which was a whole new experience, having to insert those capsules every night. And we had to do that for, I want to say 3 months, to make sure that the baby would stay in. So like the whole first trimester required inserting progesterone tablets every night, to make sure that the baby would stay. The other thing that happened during the first trimester was that I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. I've never had high blood pressure. They consider it chronic high blood pressure because it started so early in my pregnancy. But it would get higher and higher with each appointment, to the point that I had to get put on medication. The first medication didn't work. The second medication worked probably too well, because it would lower my blood pressure really, really fast, and I would get really sick and really dizzy. And so we had to try to like find a balance there, because again, I've never experienced high blood pressure. So I didn't really know what was happening. Like my feet were swelling out the gate. Like it was rough. But eventually we did find a way for it to work. And I'm very thankful that we did, because I was experiencing very uncomfortable blood pressure related symptoms like early on. But that was taken care of. And then we also started with blood work and getting used to like our monthly appointments. So monthly appointments for me consisted of going in, you have to pee in a cup every time you go. So you get a urine test every single time. It required blood work. This is when the genetic testing took place as well, the first round of genetic testing. Another thing that was kind of scary for me, because I finally got used to the idea of, okay, I have my baby's in my belly. But yes, let's do this genetic testing. And then the genetic tests come back and they're inconclusive. And I was just kind of like, what does that mean? And there was no result. So send it back, do genetic testing again. Again, they're inconclusive. Again, what's going on? Third time, no results. And so I get referred to a high-risk doctor. I didn't see the high-risk doctor until the second trimester. However, it was concerning, because here I am thinking all I have to do is make it to 12 weeks and I'm in the clear, I'm in the safe zone, like I'm less likely to have a miscarriage, like we're good. But then here comes this other like big thing for me, which was, is my baby healthy? And I didn't have an answer for that. And I didn't get an answer for that for some time. Thankfully, she's okay. But the genetic testing, just so you're aware, if you are a plus size person, can get skewed. Like sometimes it doesn't work well for plus size women. But also just sometimes your genetics don't read well with the way the labs read your blood. And that was something that the MFM, which is like the high risk pregnancy doctor, explained to us, that for some people, like these particular blood tests just don't work. And I fell into that category. Like this particular blood test just didn't work for me. However, ultrasound showed that baby was healthy, and that's really what they would have to go by. So we never did get conclusive results to the genetic blood test, but we did get to see that she did not have any markers for trisomy or Down syndrome or anything like that. So that was very relieving. But yeah, first trimester was just a roller coaster, just tired and puking and stressing out the whole time. And there were moments in there where it was like exciting and happy, but it just felt like there was a lot going on and a lot to learn. But things, and I really thought like, okay, you know, this is a lot, but things really picked up after the fact, and it was a lot more. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go with that. Like I said, it's a crazy whirlwind, a roller coaster of emotions, but it was also an exciting trimester where we finally got to see our baby. We got to hear the baby's heartbeat. We did not find out the gender in the first trimester. We actually waited till the second trimester, but a lot of people can find out the gender in the first trimester as well. So yeah, I'll leave you guys with that. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.